my name is Marina Muchina. I'm very excited to welcome you here today. I'm part of the Toronto DAO team. And I'm going to be bringing Athika also to talk to us about the event today, and she's going to be the official MC. But in my opening remarks, what I wanted to do is to explain a little bit of what the name tags mean. You guys, does everybody have a little name tag? Okay. So when we were thinking to do this particular event that's involved with gaming, and who here has played video games or participate or grew up or really is a big part of our childhood, I was shocked how many games you knew. We were doing the tags, and guys, for me, I had to research so many characters. The sad one is that my kids are on Roblox and Minecraft, and I didn't know a single character, so there I am doing research. But anyway, thank you so much for being here today. We're so excited to have you. It's going to be an amazing event, amazing panel. But about the tags, so there is per game, but if you notice it says like Mortal Kombat or it says Mario, right? It's gonna give you what the game is, and it's gonna tell you what the character is. So the goal is to meet the other 6 characters. There are 6 characters per game. So to win a prize, or the first team that collects 4 out of 6 and lets us know, there's gonna be a reward for that. And the reward is brought to you by our sponsor, Sui. Thank you so much for hosting our event, for allowing us to make this possible for everybody. It's a big part that you guys are coming out to these events, but they wouldn't be possible without our sponsors, and also without the hard work of the production team and the core team. And Samir, my hat off. You know? So today I'm taking your job a little bit, but it's okay, I like it. That's why I wear the shiny. It's a formal introduction. So guys, do you understand the game? Does everybody understand? Find the other 6 or 4 bonus points if you guys find all 6 characters from the games, and find one of our team, or at the registration, let us know. And do I have any other housekeeping? There's food, there's drinks, bathrooms are downstairs. When the conference is on, we're paying attention, and I would like to formally bring up Athika Fatima. Please come up. She's one of our absolute core members and the energy of the group. And she is going to run down with us what the event is like. So please. And your official MC of the day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maria, for having me. Hello, everyone. My name is Athika Fatima. I hope all of you know me by now. I am a computer science engineer by degree, and I'm a core team member, and I handle product engineering at Toronto DAO. So welcome all to this wonderful evening. I hope you had the pizza, and I know it smelled delicious. I hope it tasted delicious as well. I'm just channeling my Samir energy just to keep you all entertained. Firstly, a big thank you to Sui, for sponsoring the event, for having us all together under this roof and learn more about blockchain innovation and technology altogether. So firstly, before we get into all of the things that we have planned for you, how many of you know that blockchain / Web3 / gaming / AI are literally the buzzwords in the market right now? Do you believe all of these are going to pop up, hit the market, change the way that we look at things? Yes? No? Okay. Which is why today we're bringing to you the integration of AI, Web3, blockchain, and with Sui blockchain. Okay, so now, yes, we definitely did thank our sponsors, but the people behind the whole event is Toronto DAO. So please welcome our core team member, Anna, to talk about the origins of Toronto DAO, because we want innovation to be flowing through Toronto as easily as double doubles at Tim Hortons.
Hello, everyone. It's so nice to be here with you today. Yeah, my voice is strong. Sorry for that. So I am Anna. I am the social media producer in Toronto DAO. And I'm here to tell you a little bit about our origins, how we started, why we started. So back in 2023, I wasn't part of the group by that, but we got together, and we got together because we realized that many tech talents were leaving Toronto. And Toronto is such a good city to live. It's such a good place to be if you are in tech, if you are in crypto. We have a robust technology infrastructure here. Why are people leaving? People are leaving for many reasons. We all know why. But we need to fight that. We need to retain those people here. We need those talented people here. And that leads us to our mission, and which is cultivate tech talent and innovation, retain, build, and nurture tech talent in Toronto, transforming Toronto into a technological reference worldwide. And we have many important strategic partners, such as ETH Toronto, ETH Women, Blockchain Futurist Conference. In the past, we had Bidget, and now we have SUI and Walrus Protocol. Our goals are talent, innovation, and community. We are a team of 11 people, and we've been producing many interesting content on our social media about tech innovation. We have our weekly spaces on X, and it happens every Thursdays at 2 p.m. And we also produce many interesting articles on LinkedIn about technology, AI, everything related to tech. And I would like to ask all of you here to follow us on our social media. I'm going to be introducing you to our channels. But why should we celebrate Toronto? Why Toronto is so important in the tech scenario? First of all, we are the birthplace of Ethereum, you know Ethereum. And we have this great tech infrastructure, AI. We are leading the AI market. We have global talent here. We are a global talent magnet. We are one of the most diverse cities in the world. We have a lot of cultural diversity. So why not Toronto? People cannot leave Toronto, right? They have to stay here. We need, in order to bring back Toronto to the map as a reference city in the tech scenario, we need the professionals here. So why not promote them? Why not build and nurture events that are about technology? That's our mission. Despite being a very young organization, we have some milestones that we are very proud of. And I'd like to mention the T-Coin that was launched in 2024. Recently, we have an event partnership with SUI Foundation and with Walrus Protocol. We had great events here. So these are our channels. We have our LinkedIn that you can find by Toronto DAO. Our X address is DAO_Toronto. And we have our email and our official website, that is tdao.com. Oh, sorry. So this is our team. Yeah, that's us. Thank you very much. I'll be talking to each one of you, inviting you to onboard our Telegram chat, and inviting you for our next events. And that's it. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you so much, Anna. Now, for those of you that did not notice, can you tell me if so I don't mess up? Oh, okay. Perfect, perfect. So for those of you that did not notice, if you can see this image, I'm the only girl in the picture. So I decided, why not get more women who represent not just technological, not just women empowerment, but, technologically move forward, make our group more diverse, and then we did this. Yay! So huge shout out to Anna, Ara, and Maria. This is their first event with us. And thank you so much, Anna, for that wonderful presentation. We loved you giving us more spoilers than everybody else. But yeah, so next up, now we're always talking about innovation. We're always talking about technology. We're always talking about how we're moving forward. But to be able to truly learn, you have to practice. And to practice, what better way to practice than get a job? in the field. So next up, we have a wonderful presentation on how to navigate the job market by our very own, and so that I don't get his name incorrect, I'm just going to read it out from the paper, Paul Gagnon. Please welcome Paul with a huge round of applause.
My name is Paul Gagnon. I am a former recruiter and account executive for Jarvis Consulting. And Jarvis managed to place, in excess of hundreds of individuals in both startups and in enterprise firms. I was responsible for leading a lot of that growth for us, both working with candidates like perhaps yourselves. Yeah, perfect, thank you. Candidates like yourselves looking for jobs, but then also working with hiring managers to understand how can you actually attract the people that are talented that have options. Because the reality with entrepreneurship is that you can have incredible ideas, but if you are not able to attract very talented, smart people to your organization, you're only gonna grow so much. So my work with Jarvis, which I did leave a few weeks ago because I found something better, my work with Jarvis was both account executive with hiring managers and recruiters. What I want to do with today is I want to give you a look behind the scenes of the recruitment industry. And the reason is that while I worked directly in that industry myself, the reality is that each one of you is also in the recruitment industry. And you're in that industry either being somebody, for instance, like yourself, that's building teams and hiring, or somebody that's looking for a job. And so I want to give you a look behind the scenes, no bullshit, just straight, how do you make this industry work for you so you can get better jobs, build better products, and make more money. Okay, is it the top button? Okay, cool. So the recruitment industry in Canada is $13 billion. And I want you to think about that. It's a lot of money when you realize that recruitment industry is basically putting hiring managers in touch with candidates. These are two people that already want to speak with one another, and yet we spend $13 billion on this industry. My question to you is, perhaps why that might be the case, right? Such a simple transaction requires all of these people and so many recruiters and executives, all this shit, just to put these two people in touch. The reason that this is the case, and what it is, point number one to keep in mind, is the scene of recruitment and of talent has a lot of noise and a lot of people that are distracting perhaps hiring managers from finding the right talent. And then similarly, as a candidate, it can be difficult for you to really stand out and actually diversify yourself from others, right? And so it's like, how are you going to get an opportunity when you're the same as everyone else? I want to spend some time today giving just really simple, practical ideas of how you stand out as a hiring manager looking for talented people on one hand, and then similarly as a candidate, what things can you do to cut through that noise so that you're able to access the opportunities that you want. Are you guys tracking? Does this all make sense? Okay, cool. Just by show of hands, who here is in a place to hire, like some form of a hiring manager, owner, operator? Okay, 1, 2. Cool. DAO is as well. You guys could, talent eventually. Yeah. I can do a contract on the side if you want me to help. Yeah, I'm just kidding. And then I'd imagine anyone here is a candidate looking for jobs. Is anyone actively looking right now? Okay, perfect. All right, so listen up. With the hiring managers, the few things that you want to keep in mind to attract people that have options, that are actually talented, going to drive your business forward. First of which is the reputation of your company, right? Simply put, you don't need to pitch working at Facebook all that much. People want to work at Facebook. There's a lot that goes into company reputation, but the first part of it is your big picture reputation. The second is, and you should think about as a candidate, like, what are your reviews on Glassdoor, right? How do people see and experience the company from the outside looking in? Point number 2 is employee experience. Employee experience starts the first time that you have an interview with any employees and goes all the way until their exit interview at the end. I mean, if there's just a couple, hiring folks here today, maybe not something that they'll be too aware of, but the reality is that experience of your employees from start to finish makes all the difference in how many more talented people you'll get down the line. So it's something that we all need to think about, how we're impacting those around us. Next is the mission and values. A lot of people think that it's only money that makes really talented people that make a lot of money choose where to work. But do any of you know that that's not the case? It's not the case at all. The people that make a lot of money, and some of you really do know this, like C-suites or people that are owning their own companies, they're not actually driven by money because they've made enough money and they're smart enough, and I'd say they probably have a good enough will to choose things beyond just money. And so you look at folks that are really smart, they're concerned with the mission of the company. They're concerned with what values of that company align with them personally. And even if you're a small company, you want to assess the mission and values of the people you're working with and your own company. What is it you're doing to give back? Like we had this saying when we were growing Jarvis, which is social good is good and good for business, which means that you do social good, you help people, but you also help your business. Next to that, talented people, and something that all of you should think about. Even when you're interviewing, you're not just thinking about the job, you're thinking about the career growth from that job. And in any job that you're in, your manager will immediately look at you differently if you express intention to grow. And so I would say a bit of a hack to even leveraging the job you're in is make it known that you want to grow, that you're not satisfied with things as they are today, because it makes people treat you differently when they know that you're aiming for something more. So providing that career path as a hiring manager is very, very important. And then finally, talent advisors. If you're doing all these things and you're still only getting, resumes of people you don't want to speak to, let's just leave it there, you can then go to the talent industry. You then talk to a recruiter, account executive. They'll have some strategies and hopefully help you out. Does this all make sense to you guys? This seem solid? Cool. I feel like this might be more directly applicable to you here, but what can you do as a candidate, as someone with, I like to describe it as a skill that you're willing to trade in return for money? Or you can even say time that you're trading, but skilled time in exchange for money. What are you gonna do that's actually gonna make you stand out? And while it is the second point here, I wanna start with it as number one, because I did one of these a few months ago, just virtually, and I just did a LinkedIn deep dive as to how you can stand out. The reason is that pretty much every job that you're seeing on LinkedIn or that's really even hiring right now, and pretty much that entire $13 billion industry, it's all mediated through LinkedIn. I know some of you don't like LinkedIn, it's cringe because people post about politics and stuff. Like pretty much all the recruitment industry goes through LinkedIn. There's times where you know someone who knows someone, but for the most part, it's all through LinkedIn, and it's through a simple LinkedIn add-on called LinkedIn Recruiter that recruiters type in the keywords from the jobs. Sometimes they don't have a JD, they just have a few keywords, and that's what ranks the list of people that are relevant to be reached out to. One thing to keep in mind, it's rank ordered according to the frequency of those words. So again, if there's one thing I would say to you as a candidate, if you're good in a particular space, blockchain, Java, languages, whatever it is, mention that like a stupid amount of times on your LinkedIn. The reason is that when a recruiter goes to type in that word, if you mention it 14 times and you're decent at it, and you mention it 4 times, which you're amazing at it, he's gonna populate above you just by mentioning it more. I said that in an event I did months ago now, and a guy just visited us today that said, hey man, I took your advice and I got a job within 2 days, right? So list it a lot, it's so simple. Complete your LinkedIn, do a picture, all that stuff, and then whatever you're good at, say it a stupid amount of times, okay? Number one is your personal brand. Your personal brand, in my opinion, is who are you as a person, right? You should have a personality in the workplace. What do you do professionally? And why are you better at that than anybody else? To keep it very simple. So personally, as an exercise, get really clear on that. Who are you as a person? What's important to you? What do you like? Whatever. What are you good at, or what do you do professionally? And why are you better than all the other people that do that? There's so many ways to play with that and make it work for you, but you should be really clear on what your personal brand is. And on your LinkedIn, when you meet people at events like this, you should be able to express that to people, and hopefully they like you. We did LinkedIn, super important. Just fill it out, repeat the words. Next is networking events. So the company I left Jarvis for, I have because I went to an event and I talked to everybody at events. So go to them, understand your personal brand, be able to pitch yourself, have your LinkedIn ready to go, and just connect with people, just chat, right? If they can save time finding someone, they probably will. Next, creative outreach. So, I mean, like I said before, big industry, lots of people looking for jobs. You want to think, how can you stand out from others? It's creative because I can't like tell you what it is, or it wouldn't be creative. But think, like, what ways can I stand out from others with my search right now? Think outside the box. Have fun with it. The worst thing that happens is they don't get back to you. But if anyone's done a job search in the past couple of years, they're already not getting back to you. So you might as well try something different, right? Maybe show up at their house at 4 a.m. in the morning and ask for an interview. Like, whatever works for you, just, you know, try something. And then finally, recruiters. Everyone that is in tech in particular should have a roster of recruiters that knows them by name, that knows what they do, and just float in their network. You know, you don't have to be best friends with them. But the reality is recruiters mainly on, you know, the recruiting app, LinkedIn, but also will use their networks as well. Does that all make sense to you guys? Okay, cool. Just with a minute or so, I mentioned I left Jarvis for a better opportunity. It's not something I really wanted to do because I was having a lot of fun at Jarvis. I was making good money. It was all good. But then I stumbled across Zone at a networking event, personally meeting the CEO. Who here knows like how the Canadian real estate market works? Like in the residential sense? Okay, awesome. I mean, maybe by show of hands for those who know, which is a few people, but if you really look at it, it's absolutely crooked, backwards, and imbalanced. It's giving a copious amount, like outside of prices being expensive. That's something we can't control. The amount that home buyers are paying in commissions to realtors is insane, right? Like the standard commission when you go to sell a home is 5%. That goes 2.5% of the price of your home, which is probably minimum 500K. 2.5% of that goes to the realtor simply for listing it on the market, right? And getting it sold. And then you pay 2.5% of the price of your home. So we're talking like 20 plus grand for another realtor to simply bring someone who wants to buy your house. But like that person's buying your house. The realtor's not buying anything. So simply for making a little connection like that, people are paying tens and thousands of dollars at large. What Zone has done is, one, we've created a modern marketplace, if you will, to consolidate the entire real estate process such that you can go to an app in our website and work with a modernized team to work you through the real estate transaction. All the services under one roof. It's more intuitive, it's more common sense. The second part, and why we're the fastest growing brokerage and fintech startup in Canada, is a down payment assistance model where when we get 2.5% commissions on the price of the home that you buy from the seller, not from you, we give you the 1.5% of that as upfront cash back to support your purchase. So on average, that's anywhere from 6 grand to 15 grand from our commissions that we made from the seller to support your purchase. Okay, that's not a loan that you have to repay. That's not a means of getting equity. That's simply us acknowledging, up until now, real estate commissions have been insane and have been taking too much from people. We're gonna start to even that out. Aside from that, you can sell your home with Zone for a 1% commission fee capped at 8 grand. So you'll never sell a home for more than $8,000 with Zone. I joined them because as a Canadian myself, I started to realize like we have some problems in Canada with our economy. A big part of that is home ownership. I think we can all agree on that. And companies like Zone, in fact, we're the only one doing this, are making a real difference in how people can actually become home buyers. We can't change the market prices. What we can do is give some of those realtor funds back to people to purchase their homes. If you're interested, perhaps one of you looking to buy something of that nature, check us out on our website at zone.ca or connect with my LinkedIn here. I'd love to walk you through how it works and answer any additional questions you might have, okay? Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
So thank you so much, Paul, for that wonderful presentation. I completely agree with you when you say, you know, LinkedIn, as much as we dislike it, there's a lot of drama going on there, but it is the application that you need if you need a job in your, you know, if you need a job. I mean, basically, I literally got, and random people reach out to you, you know, you don't know their connections of connections and mutual connections, and then they just saw, you know, you being mentioned somewhere, and then they reach out saying, you know, are you free? Let's catch up, let's talk, and then one thing leads to another, and you never know. you are already hired there, right there. You don't have to go through the traditional route of, applying for a job, waiting 2 weeks to hear back, and then getting an email after 3 months saying, unfortunately, we decided to not move forward with you, right? Now coming to, firstly, nobody punished the people in the back. So we would love for you all to come and occupy the empty seats here in the front, just so that we have more faces that we can talk to. Moving on, I would love to invite another colleague of mine, Kirill, who's a core team member who supports our product and engineering, to talk about the great innovative projects and products that Toronto DAO is working on. And before I hand it off to Kirill, I'm just going to pass on this digital identity card to everyone in this room to just tap it on their phones, and you can connect with me. Thank you.
Hello everyone. Today I'm happy to share our early access beta version of our new app called BespokeBeaver, that will help you to get and know new unique places in Toronto. And our app analyzes your Twitter account, and based on this, we find unique places in Toronto that matches you, and our app is going to help you to explore different Toronto neighborhoods. Also, we are promoting local Toronto businesses, and this app will help you to find hidden gems that we have in Toronto. And
I know networking is important, but if we could keep it down just so we can hear Kirill with this, that'd be appreciated. Apparently you can't hear me. Guys in the back, if you can just tone it down a bit so Kirill can give his presentation, that'd be awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And now let's proceed to the demo. So this is UI of our new app. In order to get your recommendation, you have to enter your Twitter username, and based on this information, we collect latest 20 tweets from your account, and this tweet is collects using the web scraper that uses AI, and after that we create your unique user persona based on your latest 20 tweets, and it also uses AI, and after that this information is also sent to UI to get 5 unique places in Toronto that matches your identity. And also, as you can see, we identify your unique traits and interests based on your latest tweets. And here is the list of the locations recommended for you. And also, as you can see, there is a unique description that explains why this place matches you. And I also would notice that all the links are clickable, and there's also a route on the map if you want to explore all the places together, and also all the pins are clickable. Yeah, and you can access our app using the QR code, or you can just use the link directly, but take into account that it's early access version and some features might not work as intended, but for the desktop it works pretty fine. And I also wanted to give credit to Taylor Cox from Videos, who helped us with the initial yeah. So he basically helped us with the initial development and with the creating the idea. And thank you so much for your attention. Do you have any questions?
I thought you wanted to say something. Perfect.
Hey folks, Samir Azizi here, Toronto DAO co-founder. Let's give it up for Kirill one more time, everybody. So I just wanted to kind of share a little bit behind the scenes here. It's a little bit of an experiment. We shipped this app in like 10 days. And what happens is, with the age of AI, you can really accelerate everything. And that's why we got together, Toronto DAO team. Athika was there, Noak was there, I was there, and a couple other people as well. Sorry if I forgot your name, I'm a little bit worried right now. But we basically were just cramming down in the Vibe Station. Shout out to Super Team, by the way, for hosting us. So I locked everyone in the room. I was like, let's fucking develop some app. Like, we're not living here without an idea and an initial setup. And that's why this app exists from nothing. We just created it in 10 days. Kirill was spearheading this thing. Taylor helped us out as well, and he's from Vitreous, by the way. Shout out to Vitreous. And that's just an experiment that worked. We're gonna start doing this every freaking month. So I'm gonna lock people in the room, and I'll say, until you develop an app, you're not getting out. And we're just gonna pump them and ship them and ship them and ship them. And everything's gonna be Toronto DAO based. Everything's gonna be Toronto based. But in this day and age, if you're not shipping, you're doing something wrong. Because it's so easy these days. So we're just gonna do it and do it and do it nonstop. And that's pretty much it. Thank you.
By the way, have you all paid attention to that wonderful name that we have for the application? It's called BespokeBeaver, because beaver is our national animal, and bespoke, because Samir wanted bespoke in the name, so we just put there. Yeah, but definitely do check it out. Scan the QR. It is going to be soon hosted and linked to our official web app, which is tdao.to/bespokebeaver. But yes, it gives you such good recommendations, like top 5 based on your account, and it also gives you like a and that's very interesting, Kirill, because it gives you like this description of the analysis of your Twitter account, saying, okay, this person is a developer, this person is, you know, a very sweet and kind from their wife. So let's just give them like nice aesthetic cafes that you haven't discovered. So definitely do check that out. Moving on to the, oh yes, guys, we are all tired, right? So let's just take a quick 10-minute break and come back and keep the energy going. Yay! Okay, we have another community announcement. Flojo, thank you so much for being here at the Toronto DAO event. And I'm gonna hand it over to our official Todd from Mario.
Hi. So yes, Toad from Mario. Team Mario, thank you. Okay, so I'm actually Chrissy. I'm the co-founder and neuroscientist behind Flojo Drinks. So what we are is a next-gen energy drink that is powered by not caffeine or high sugar, but actually we're powered by yerba mate tea, functional mushrooms, vitamins, and nootropic herbs. So you actually get a really healthy energy boost and brain benefits with it. So we're really defining the functional beverage space with this new drink. And also, what's really important for us is not just the drink, but building a thriving community. So we are actually have a on-chain engagement rewards program as well. So from that, we're going, as for early adopters and supporters, you can gain different rewards and exchange it for different experiences, rewards, and really cool stuff in the future. So you can check us out at Drink Flojo on Twitter X. You can use the QR code there as well. And we're actually currently headquartered in Singapore and Hong Kong, but all of you here are actually the first really to see this drink here and be able to try it, because we're going to be bringing it to Canada and USA very soon. So we're going to have a pre-order sale. So yeah, follow us, and if you're interested to give it a try, you can come up to me and I'll have drinks at the back. And just so you know, we did build this specifically for our Web3 community. So that's creators, builders, entrepreneurs, and the like. And we are currently stocked in Singapore in offices like Google, LinkedIn, and Stripe, etc. So this is a really cool product. Hope you can give it a try. And thank you everyone for listening, and hope to meet all of you soon in the next little while. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Chrissy, and a huge shout out to Samir right there who's promoting the drink. If you can see, we all love soft drinks, guys, and no matter like what happens, we love soft drinks. But yes, also the first soft drink to be powered by crypto innovation. But yes, moving on to our next community announcement, which is Kaboom! Blockchain Futurist Conference. It's happening twice this year, one in Miami in November and one in Toronto in less than 2 months. And Toronto DAO is an official partner of the Blockchain Futurist Conference. So all of you, the general tickets are free. Go on to futuristconference.ca or .com. Okay, I think it is. Yeah, futuristconference.com/register, and you will be able to come across both the general tickets as well as the VIP tickets. The general tickets are free, and VIP, you can use our 25% off code, Toronto DAO 25, to get a 25% off on VIP tickets. And that's it. Moving on to the next performance of the night. My personal favorite, our beatboxer! Welcome! I'm just looking at the name so I don't get your name wrong. Okay. Welcome, Gaurav!
So, ladies and gentlemen, what you're about to hear is 100% human voice. So, good evening, everyone. How are you guys doing today? Nice. So I see a couple familiar faces from last event. I think you guys remember me. Do you guys remember me? Some of you? Okay, nice. Thank God. So for the people who don't know me, my name is Gaurav. I'm a beatboxer, and I've been doing this art form for almost a decade now. And last time I taught you guys how to beatbox, but this time I will be doing something different. But before anything else, I want to see how's the energy in the room. How's the energy in the room? Still, I see there's a lot of room to increase the energy. Let's see. So when I say hip, you say hop. Hip, hop. Hip, hop. Hip, hop. Louder. Hip, hop. Hip, hop. Hip. Let's go. That's the energy I'm talking about. So this time we'll be doing some mimicry. Do you guys know mimicry? Yes? No? Maybe? No? Okay. So I usually do mimicry of animals, vehicles, and different sort of sound. Let's start off with a bird, like a sparrow. Sound something like. There's one more bird that I've seen at evening times. If you guys know the name of that bird, let me know. It's a black-colored bird. Usually I've seen it at the sunset time. It sounds something like. Does anyone know the name of this bird? No. No one sees any bird or what? No problem. What? Maybe. It's a black colored, big kind of a bird, but I've usually seen it at evening time. Yeah. So next sound is water drop. So at a height, from a height, if a water drops, it sounds something like. It sounds something like. And from a closer distance, it's something like. Right? I think the mic is not getting it. No problem. I'm good, I know. So, next one. Have you watched the movie Venom? I mean, yes? Do you know the sound of Venom, how it sounds like? Check this. We are Venom. There's one more. Have you seen the movie Transformers? Do you know Megatron? Megatron, it sounds something like. I am Megatron. Decepticons transform into light. And remember, we must destroy Optimus Prime. And there are two sounds that irritates me the most, especially at night time when I'm about to sleep. There's one that is sounds something like. Does it irritate you or not at night, right? And the other one, guess this sound. This one is, maybe, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I'm from India and we are super familiar to it. Yes, it is. What is it? What is it? What is it? Let's go! You got it. So, there are two more sounds. Let's go with the final one, the one that I love the most. It is the cow. A cow sounds something like. Okay, let's go. Let's go with some music. Have you guys been to a club? Yeah. Do you guys know scratching? The DJ that scratch? Yeah. Something like. One more routine for you guys. You can roll like this, like. we need to keep drinking water. Otherwise, I can't do it. Yeah. One more for you guys. So, how many of you know what drill music is? Do you guys know drill music? A little bit? No one is familiar to UK. No problem. Let's see. Thank you so much, guys. That was my time. Thank you.
Guys, can we have another huge round of applause for our beatboxer? Okay. Next up, we have the act of the evening, a panel discussion on gaming. Please welcome Matthew, Shera, Marcus, Mazzocato, Paul, Gadi, and our very own moderator, core team member, Matthew. The panel is called The Future of Game Ownership, by the way, people. So please put your hands together once again for the panel of the night, The Future of Game Ownership.
All right, we have to follow up beatboxing, but you know, it'll be okay, I think. So, as the main sponsor of this event is the Sweet Play, so we kept with the gaming theme. Web3 and gaming, it's not new anymore. It's been around for like 5-ish years, maybe. But it hasn't really took off. I think the way some would like it to. Of course, we have people trying. We have AI gaming now. So we're gonna focus our discussion on like Web3 gaming and how ownership in AI will change the future of gaming. So why don't we, introduce ourselves, and as a mini icebreaker, tell me your favorite video game when you were a kid. Not now, kid.
Perfect. I'll start off here. My name is Marcus Mazzocato. I'm a product manager over at Atoma Network. Atoma, we're less so directly on the gaming side, but we're fully on the AI side. So we're a full-stack AI hyperscaler built on Sui, which pretty much means we service AI models to anyone looking to build. We have partners, some of them on the stage, such as Anomaly, who are leveraging these models to bring AI to their gaming experiences. But man, as a kid, I don't know, like Mario Kart Double Dash kind of had me by a chokehold, but put way too many hours into that than I'd like to admit.
I just realized we're indirectly telling our age when we play this game.
Hello.
Hello, hello. Oh, hey folks. I'm Matthew Shera. I'm a game director at Anomaly. We are a Toronto-based game studio that builds games using emerging technology. We love Web3, we love AI, and anything to serve our player and find the fun. Make experiences that people haven't experienced before, and create games that we dream of and write about in science fiction novels. And if I have to say my favorite video game, I mean, it's a little easy, but I think Pokemon was probably my favorite.
Oh no, it's a good choice. Which one though?
Pokemon Red.
Oh, I had blue.
Yeah, hello everyone. My name is Paul. I'm CTO and co-founder of my startup called OP Games. And I guess with what Matthew said earlier around how Web3 and games really hasn't found its footing, I've seen that. Because my startup, I used to run a game company called Altitude Games, and we started in mobile gaming and console gaming, like DS, like in older phones as well, like before the app stores. And so when we found Web3, this was around 2018 as well, and a lot of the narrative around that was how can blockchain change games, and that's why we started the startup. We found like a lot of interesting use cases for blockchain, and now we're also moving into AI. And I would say like it's really a good discussion that we're trying to find what AI and Web3 can do for games here. And with my favorite game, actually got the sticker that represented it, is Street Fighter. So I love Street Fighter. So shout out to the other Street Fighter folks there. And yeah, so I'd love to play Street Fighter with all of you guys also. Yeah.
And for the record, I'm really giving away my age here. My favorite was Banjo-Kazooie for the Nintendo 64. Nice. Do any of you know what that is, or am I okay?
I know what that is.
I feel like Wii is like the oldest generation console for most of these people here. So ownership is sort of the key aspect of like Web3. We've seen it before. I don't play a lot of this game, but I know Counter-Strike, a lot of ridiculous money has been thrown around for knives and guns. What do you think Web3 and AI what does that mean in respect to ownership to you? Well, we'll do it like in a row.
Yeah, so I think it's really interesting when you bring AI into the mix of ownership. There's been that whole bubble, as you mentioned before, that really never found its full footing with gaming and crypto. A lot of it came down to the play to earn and people farming it more than actually playing the game itself. I think the issue there was more so that the games weren't focused on the actual fun and entertainment. It wasn't the actual experience that people were focusing on. It was the monetary gain. And when you have things structured around there, you're never going to have a game that's going to really hit the mainstream. I mean, there were some that did, but again, they were for the monetary benefit. I can think of like Zed Run in the early days. Picked up a lot of steam because, put some gambling into some horse racing. Like, who's not going to get involved in that back in those days? But with AI, it gets really interesting because you have this concept of agents, right? And these autonomous agents. And, for the sake of this discussion, let's say these agents take the role of like NPCs or characters in a game you're playing with. If that ownership and that association of the relationships that are built can be registered on the blockchain and then can be permanently referenced, or, when you're in that world of having maybe items that will, you have the proof of ownership with a CSGO knife, for example, but based on some respective instructions associated with a large language model, you can have that item grow or shift accordingly. There's a lot of different ways that AI kind of fits into here. And it all kind of, I think, really completes the pieces that weren't necessarily there initially when Web3 gaming was getting picked up. And really excited to see what comes from that. I think we've got some great teams over here who are going to be showcasing that. So excited to hear what they have to say.
Hello. Yeah, I think it's such an interesting question talking about ownership, especially in the Web3 space. We always talk about converting players to shareholders. When you invest in a Web3 product, you're not just buying a game that you could maybe sell back later, but you're joining an ecosystem. You're joining a team of founders that create and build a product. And I think what you said, AI is so big, the scope of it, that we really don't fathom how deep that's going to go into ownership. One thing we love doing with agentic frameworks is like building a narrative that is the agent, and that narrative is told by someone that's building the world that's an agent inside of your game. And so how do you decide whether you get bread or whether you get something distributed to you? That's decided by an NPC. If you go there for a coffee, one day they might give it to you for free. If you buy 50 Pokeballs, maybe they'll throw in an extra one because they like the way that you were dressed or like the way that you talk to them. It's all about how do we make these experiences fun and unique, and how do we make them serve the player? I think ownership, when you give players ownership, they feel much more connected to the product that they're part of.
Hello. Yeah, it is a really interesting term, right? Like back in 2018, when we talked about game ownership, Counter-Strike was the model, right? Like people would say like these items, you don't really own them. Like you're just renting them from Steam, or I guess right now, like a good example with Street Fighter, right? Like the game used to be just you pay and you put a token to play the game. And now how the game is monetized is you buy the costumes that the player wears, and you kind of think, I'm paying $20 for this costume, and do I really own it, right? And it's kind of what the narrative of blockchain has been around games and ownership. And it's very interesting that you said, Marcus, around AI and ownership. There's this platform called Virtuals, wherein people can list their own agents. So I guess it's very similar to when people were making NFTs and building communities around these NFTs, like Monkey DAO and Bored Ape Yacht Club, where ownership of the community is based on who owns these NFTs. And then with Virtual's case, it's like whoever owns these coins, right? They own the agent is kind of the, I guess, the governance structure that's coming up. But again, like as you mentioned, a lot of this is so new. Like we don't really know what ownership means. I feel like we could take all night to interrogate what ownership really means, right? But I love the question. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, it's kind of weird, especially we're moving away from the physical copies. PlayStation sells a version without it, a disc, and like with the physical copies, you could go to a store and get some money back and sell it used, but with the virtual ones, you can't do any of that.
Yeah, definitely, right?
And they don't really give you a discount for the lack of the physical ones. If it's $90, I can't believe they're $90, but that's a problem for another day.
Yeah.
If it's $90 at the store, it's $90 online.
Yeah. And I think in early days of NFTs, right, there was some sort of like trading fees. You could buy and sell the NFTs. So people tried to experiment with the model. But I think now, because the market is not so great, like we're kind of not as experimental as we have been. So.
Yes, that's true. So Matthew kind of dabbed on this. So if you want to skip this, I'm cool with that. But so like, in what ways do you think that ownership can change player-developer relationships?
I'll jump right into there. I think ownership and changing that relationship, Matthew was bringing up some really good points there. I think the interactions the user has, and now we're able to be in a position where you can have tailored experiences fully personalized to the user, which is something that really hasn't been done before. And the example that I always throw this is like Telltale games. Like Telltale games were like set experiences, pure decision trees, right? Like choose A, you have the choice between like A, B, C, you know, choose that, keep going forward. With AI, it's still technically a decision tree, but it's a very unpredictable decision tree. Like you are not going in a route where, you know, it's like 1 to 5 options. You're like limitless options, really brought down to the capabilities of what the large language model is capable of doing. And these models now are, you know, hundreds of gigabytes in size, up to like 700 billion parameters just for open source models. So when you have access to these kind of experiences, you go from a world where the developer gives the story that they wanted to tell to the user, and now the developer is giving a game to the user and letting the user tell their own story based on what they've built out. And that's something that's been really exciting, I think, for me to look into. How many times have like anyone played a story mode game and like you're just pissed off at a decision that's happened? You're like, why would you do something so stupid? But if that isn't always the case, like what if you and your friend have a different experience going through the same game? These are just like, it takes a whole new level into entertainment, right? Like entertainment, we're so used to having a set structure, but when you're able to tailor this to what you want and what you want to desire and see, you have a whole new world to kind of captivate yourself with.
I did not think of that at all. Like what you're, it sounds like it's a way to create like a game that has infinite like playthrough type possibilities.
I mean, like it pretty much is though. Like, you know, you look back at, let's scrap video games as the direct thing and look at like tabletop games, right? Like Dungeons and Dragons, and, you know, have a dungeon master create the story for you to go through. At the end of the day, the same principle's made through like typical story-based games when a game designer is designing it. But if you're using a large language model and system prompting it to behave in a certain manner, like pretend you're a dungeon master, pretend you're doing this, it has all the context available that it was trained on, which for the most part is up to like 2024 internet data. If you can't create infinite stories based on what's happened on the internet, like up to 2024, I don't know what to tell you. But yeah.
That's true, that's true. Do you want to elaborate on what you said last time, or I'm kind of putting you on the spot?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you're really talking about AI agents, you know, there's such a broad future that you can look at. Because I was just at GDC last week, and people have AI agents that are using Stable Diffusion to build games in real time. And so what essentially that means is you could answer a personality quiz, and by the end of the quiz be playing a game that's completely tailored to you, visual content, all the assets, theme of the game, genre, logic of the game, personalized to what type of person you are. And I think we're only at the tip of the iceberg of AI, which is kind of the scariest part. But you know, we think about it like not that long ago we were paying for text messages, you know, and it's one of those things where we want to satisfy the player and give the player the best experience possible and use these emerging technologies, but we don't want to shove things down people's throat. You know, it's almost like the account abstraction in Web3 that's so important. You don't want your onboarding process to bring someone into this world that's completely unknown to them. You want to introduce them to these products while they still kind of can relate to it, and it has a story. You know, if you give someone that just a large language model that doesn't have any instructions in it, it's not going to give you a very compelling narrative right now. But in the future, you know, it only goes up from here, you know.
Yeah. I just wanted to like mention the Telltale deep cut. Like I love the Walking Dead games. So I think those are the kinds of games that I also personally like, wherein like the narrative can change according to now what AI can do, right? So that's super interesting. I guess one thing I also did want to mention, because I love this conversation around like how AI is changing the workflows of game development. Like now people were making stuff with Stable Diffusion, right? Like it's so easy. And I'm sure like if people have been keeping track of crypto Twitter, there's this term called vibe coding where people will just say something to an LLM, like make me a game, make me a snake game, and then it'll just make it immediately in one shot, right? And so it's changed how, I guess how code is valued. Like code now is so cheap that you can rewrite like a game design immediately. And we haven't really seen games that are doing that now. So that's kind of what excites me, is seeing just new kinds of genres that will come up once these workflows have been just optimized for AI.
So not just with gaming, like ownership in AI has always been sometimes controversial. I heard a song by Shakira, and with quotes because it wasn't really her. It sounded like her. It sounded like she did a song where someone forced her into a room and said, you have 4 hours to make a song. So it wasn't good, but it did sound like her. And I can't imagine if she heard that, she'd be too happy about that. But when it comes to AI content, like who owns that?
Oh, Rick. Who wants to touch that? Yeah, you were looking at me, so. Yeah, it's a tough question. Like right now, like there's a lot of lawsuits coming up, right? Like even with OpenAI around how it's being trained by content on the internet that they didn't get permission for, right? And so, like it's tough. Like I feel like it comes down to whose side you're on, right? Are you on the side of whether you want AI to become as useful as it is, or on the other side of making sure that it's benefiting the right folks, right? So I think it's a spectrum a little bit, but yeah, I don't really have a clear answer for that, right? I'm building on AI, and in our case, we do see how it's going to change how games are going to be made, and we work with a lot of indie developers, and indie developers, there are also people who are uniquely affected by this, right? Because it's an art form for them, and they feel like the art is being taken away from you when like someone can just make it one shot and devalue what you're working on. So I feel like as long as you have a good vision of who you want to benefit from this technology and build it for them and have them in communication with you as you build it, then you're better off than most, I feel. So that's how we're building it.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost one of those questions where it's as much philosophical as it is realistic. You know, when you type a question into ChatGPT, is that plagiarism when you hit enter? You know, because that large language model has read so many books and so many publications from people all over the world to synthesize the answer that it's given you. I think, generally speaking, I'm on the side of that's not plagiarism, but we have to be careful with any of these tools. You know, we see tools like Scenario where you can upload a library of photographs and train a small language model on just your library of photographs. But even then, do you know which section of the code is using just your photos and which section of the code is using someone else? I think you have to approach this with a realm of like, what is fair use? And I think when you look at fair use for AI, it's trying your best to use it as a tool and not just cookie cutter taking something from an AI tool and shipping it in your game, but getting artists to at least look at it and make sure that it's appealing and do touch-ups and finalize it to serve your player as best as possible. But, you know, I would say as a tool, most of the time, you're not going to get in trouble. But, you know, with anything, this is not legal advice.
It's funny jumping into the legal side of it, though, because I think the biggest question mark around AI constantly is, where does the regulation stand? I was chatting with a studio in Japan earlier today, and they mentioned to me that like the legalities in Japan are currently really gray. Like models can be trained on all IPs, you know, they can be trained on these IPs, and the artists hate it. You know, it's a big concern, right? If the, you know, oh, is it okay? My bad. So there's like a big concern here because obviously, like as these models get more integrated into your daily usage, into the hands of developers, of studios, what happens to the artists who created the IPs that these models are trained on, right? That's the big glaring question. At the end of the day, none of us really know because as regulation may come around, regulation does tend to impede progress, right? And do we want to impede the progress of potentially the biggest technical revolution we've had since the Industrial Revolution? Like, that's a big concern. You know, I'm on the side that let's not impede the process, but I'm also a little bit worried about where that may take us. So I don't know exactly where I stand.
I mean, there are some areas that are more gray, and then of course there's like the Shakira situation, which is not gray. That seems, but I mean, I've never listened to a good AI music or song. I don't know if either of you have. At best, it's okay for like background music for a video, but it's learning, right? So who's to know that like, oh man, this song is awesome, and like that's by this person, and they're like, that's not this person, that's a machine.
But it's also how many music producers are now using AI in their Ableton push to speed up their workflow. How many artists are using Canva AI or Adobe Firefly? You know.
When does it? Do you think it'll become the new auto-tune? That this question just sprung on me. Sorry.
I think it might be. Like I was watching Jacob Collier. Like he had a collaboration with Google, right? Like he was making stuff with AI. So yeah, so I think if you're at the top level and you're like someone who can really make art, it can like really elevate your art form, right? But again, like that Shakira situation, that is concerning, right? Yeah.
So we're a DAO here at Toronto DAO, and for those who are new to this game, it means a decentralized autonomous organization. And there's been talks about kind of implementing this in Web3 towards the games. Do you think it's something that it's a model that Web3 games should adopt, like a lot of Web3 elements, or should it just be centralized but just using the ownership games and NFT style gaming system? Sorry, I lost my voice there.
Yeah, I can start. Like that's something we're really actually investigating. Like I mentioned virtuals earlier. Our company put out a vibe coding agent on virtuals, and the idea is what kind of games would an AI make, right? If it was controlled by community, if it was not centralized. For example, if you're making a game like in Japan, like it's so centralized. Like there's a game designer that decides everything, and then there's like a whole process on how to make the game. But what if it can just vibe code and imagine whatever game, and then the game just goes to wherever the community wants it to go? It can maybe ride on waves, it can just take the cultural elements like memes and blockchain, right? A lot of that goes into these Web3 games that you see. So it's something that I'm exploring. I feel like there is something there. And if you look at mobile games, for example, right? Like a lot of mobile games, they have a different model from centralized games. They kind of look at all the games on the App Store and they copy each other and just find the best one that gets the best hook, right? So I feel like AI games will find some sort of, I guess its own spirit, something like that, wherein it's AI games where it's super fast coding and it's more like these quick experiences versus like the very centralized ones, right?
I think there's really two different avenues. You know, you can really focus on, is this an experience that is supposed to be showcasing technology to people, or are we trying to make a fun game? And I think when you look at, we're trying to make a fun game, you think a lot about stuff like account abstraction. You know, we want people to not know that there's crypto, that there's Web3. We want people to not know that there's AI in this product. We want someone to open it and fall in love, you know, retain and be inspired and get sucked into a world that they really enjoy. You know, for me, the technology is always secondary to can we make an experience that people really want to attach to and love?
Yeah, to actually piggyback off that, I think that's a really great point. I think it was actually at GDC, but one of the co-founders of Mistin Labs, Adeni, was just mentioning, like, why do we keep calling this Web3 gaming? Like, it just needs to be gaming. Like, when you start throwing around certain terms and trying to make that your selling point, you're no longer trying to make a fun experience. You're just trying to sell the technology. And while that works in, you know, like your typical B2B SaaS and that kind of structure, this is gaming. Like, your community ranges from like 6-year-olds all the way up to like, you know, whatever age wants to play your game. And at the end of the day, even when you look at like the perspective of a DAO, like a lot of time DAO gets convoluted with a community. But communities form around fun games, right? Like, look at Smash Bros, Mario Kart, Street Fighter. Like, these are all games that they have diehard communities because they're just fun. And I think that's like the key point to look at that.
Yeah, I think that's. I feel like you need to have a combination of both, because too decentralized could also mean nothing gets done, right? So you got to have a bit of back and forth. Now, with the play to earn, do you think that's something that could retain or bring on new Web 2 game? I don't know why. I'm gonna start over. Do you think like these play to earn or this ownership model or these tokens that you access on the blockchain, do you think that can help onboard Web 2 gamers, or traditional gamers, I should call them?
Yeah, well, just also a point, like I've seen play to earn and I've seen it grow, because I used to be based from the Philippines, and that's kind of one of the main area where that started. And I guess the question was, can it be used to bridge Web 2 players, right, into Web 3? I think if you're like a game developer that's, I guess, really building games for the craft, and wanting people to play games because it's a story that you want to tell, it's an experience that you want to give them, you probably won't attract the players that you want, because a lot of these people that are playing in Web3 are playing to earn, right? They're there to earn. They're not there to play. And so you'll attract an audience. Like, it's any incentive mechanism, right? Like, they're there for the incentives. And so if you don't balance that out, then you're not going to get the right players. But I've seen it work, as I mentioned, in the Philippines.
I think if your goal is to make a play to earn game, it's probably not a very good goal. Your goal should be, let's have a user base, and let's find a persona that really loves a game, and let's create a game that serves those players. You know, if you're building a game for people that love card games, or if you're building a game for somebody that loves Animal Crossing, you know, you have a target demographic that you're trying to hit with your product. And you know, play to earn is an experience, and I think it can be done successfully. But if your goal is, you know, make everyone money that plays this game, that might not necessarily happen. What can happen that's really powerful is you divert funds from your whales, your most invested users, to players that are trying to onboard. And so it's a similar cost as like user acquisition, but at the same time, you know, we've seen in gaming across the last 2 years, 3 years, user acquisition is more expensive than ever. So creating these alternative avenues to acquire users through unique metrics, stuff like encouraging people to participate in reward systems or earn airdrops, you know, it's a new wave of user acquisition that we're kind of trying to tap into, because user acquisition is a bit full, you know, saturated at the moment.
So we only have like a minute. Do you mind? So yeah, we've fortunately run out of time, but I'd like to thank our panelists here for joining us. If you like this was a bit of a sneak peek. Every Thursday at 2:00 we have our Twitter space. So tomorrow we have Koi Network. So feel free to tune in on that. It's again every Thursday at 2:00. Thank you very much, everyone.
Hello. Thank you guys for such a wonderful panel. Maria, back up on stage. Hi, everybody. Wow, I feel like you've seen me a lot today, but my role right now is to introduce our next performer, our next segment here, and it'll be a reward for you guys being so diligent and paying so much attention. Hold on. Okay. So the next person I'm bringing up is our Toronto local born gem, and his name is Chris Moose. Let me clarify, M-O-S-E, not M-O-O-S-E. I was told I'm not allowed to crack any jokes. Although, without a further ado, I am super excited to bring up on stage our comedian for the night. His name is Chris Moose, and Chris, take it away. Everybody give a round of applause. Oh, I really held off on the jokes there.
No, I appreciate it. You got my name wrong somehow. I don't know how you messed that up. Yeah, M-O-O, yeah. I said like the animal, yeah. Yo, I want to thank everyone in the front row right here for being such a great crowd. Yo, people in the back. Yo, can you guys hear me? Yes, stop flirting or whatever you're doing. The networking was over in the first 10 minutes, so you guys can go outside. We've had a lot of great people up here tonight throwing out information that you came to see, and then you guys, oh, they still don't give a shit. That's crazy. Yeah, I don't like those guys at all. Saw this one guy in plaid and a turtleneck. I don't know how that happened. Who let that guy out of the house? That's disturbing. Oh, my God. So how we doing? Toronto DAO. How's everyone doing tonight? Yeah, that's awesome. Toronto DAO and not one Asian person. That's so. But you guys got the gong though. That's the DEI hire right there. That's all that was. I love the name tags. No one gave me a name tag. I don't know what that's all about. Did you guys make your own name tags? No? That's worse. That's so much worse. Because I was going to go introduce myself to people, and then, like, everyone, like, is just Chun-Li, and I'm like, I don't want to assume. And I saw one black guy, Shadow. I'm like, I'm not touching that at all. Like, why is everyone an anime character? What's going on? It's messed up. Yeah, this is AI and Web3 stuff. I thought this was VR. I read the email wrong somehow. I don't know. But we know all my jokes are VR now. So fuck it. So we know VR gaming. We know what that is. Virtual reality. What's so virtuous about this reality? I don't get it. From what I know about it, it's like it's mostly porn, right? Like where's the virtue in that kind of gaming? It's just all nuns? No, dude, I swear I was playing Spider-Man Web 3. Yeah, I bet you were shooting a lot of webs, bro. Come on. Oh, man. Anyone here celebrating anything tonight? We got any birthdays or anything? Just out on a Wednesday to talk about online stuff? That's great, man. Dude, I was on a date. I was on this date earlier this week, and this girl told me that I'm handsome at a glance. And that's fucked up because I know what she means. Like, I've seen myself in a mirror before. Like, I walked past the mirror and I was like, nah. And even though I knew what she meant, I was like, you know what? I've seen let's dive down this rabbit hole. And I was like, oh yeah, like what do you mean though? And she's like, I'm not saying you're my type, but you're dangerously close to an exception. That means I'm fuckable when she's drunk. That's completely left field, man. Oh, man. Dating's so weird nowadays because, like, everyone has bait. I don't know if you guys realize this. Every single person has bait that they use to, like, lure people into a potential relationship. Like, men, I don't know if you notice this. Men use, like money and tattoos, nice cars, beards, sunglasses, puppies sometimes, Dyson Airwrap stylers. Like, these are all things men use. And women have boobs. And if they don't have boobs, they have ass. And if they don't have either, they're Asian. But some of us are into that. It's It's fine. Me personally, I have conversational bait, you know, like I think I'm a good speaker. Like I think if she hears my voice, I can manipulate her into a certain situation. The problem is though, I'm too creative with it. You know, I'd be saying all this stuff, but then I gotta like back it up later, you know, which is so like, I don't think I should be held liable for anything I say when I'm horny. Like that's messed up. Cause I'm talking about like her hands to my headboard tied up tight with a belt. I don't know why I thought I knew knots all of a sudden. Like I'm a Boy Scout. I don't know. I'm broke, by the way. Like I don't even have a headboard. Like I don't have the bed frame. My bed's on the floor. And you think I have enough time and money for not tying lessons? You're a crazy woman. Oh my God. I gotta back this shit up. I told this girl, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna pick you up and like eat you out against the wall. Do you know the logistics, the physicality one must have? I'm gonna sprain my neck and I'm just gonna be munching and I'm gonna come up for air and she's gonna think she's early, but it's just me struggling. It's gonna be bad. I can't do it though, man. I'm trying to like get out there and like meet women, but like I'm too nervous, you know? I'm like, I started making plans. I don't know if anyone else does this. I make plans to meet women. That's how weird I am, all right? I have the worst plans in the world. My plan right now is to go to a bar and already strike out. Like that's crossed off the list. But I'm gonna get an Uber home, but it's gonna be an Uber share ride so I could like roll the dice one last time. Because once she's in the car with me, she kind of has to be nice to me. Because we're going to go to her house first. So now I know where she lives. Don't worry, though. Don't worry. My plan backfired instantly. Because no one told me that single girls don't take Uber pools at 4 in the morning. So for the last month and a half, I've been getting into cars with other single dudes. And now they know where I live. So I've been hanging with a lot of new friends recently. Thanks. I don't like the new friends though. I don't know why all these like new friends I meet in Toronto are constantly, they all want to go to the club. All right, I don't know what that is. That's bullshit. All right, I'm broke. Fuck that. It's like let's go spend all of our money in one night and cry about it for the rest of the year. It's ridiculous. Because no one told me this, but the club isn't made for broke boys. All right, the club is made for those rich motherfuckers, you know, with like the turtlenecks and the fancy pants and shit. Pretty much just anyone in the back of the room. And that's not because me and my boy, we're showing up with t-shirts and tank tops. You know, these guys, these rich guys, they're so rich they've paid off sweats somehow. And me and my boys caught all the debt, you know, because like we got our like t-shirts, tank tops. It looks like we just got off the main card at Ripley's Aquarium. Like, you know how hard it is to talk to a girl while you're sweating like a rotisserie chicken at Swiss Chalet? It's impossible, man. And then like the rich guys, they don't even have to talk to the girls. All they got to do is this. And they just go. And they just go up to the booths and, dude, I gotta put in work. Like, I gotta be on the dance floor, and I gotta, like, be, like, with my dance moves, and I finally, like, get a girl. And on top of all this just, like, hip and elbow grease I'm putting in, I gotta block her vision. I gotta block her vision on so she can't see these hand signals freaking coming in from this guy. And then I'm just praying. I'm sweating. I'm just praying this DJ in the back is gonna hit those dry ice machines, you know, give me that cool breeze. And he hits it, and I'm so excited. And I see it coming towards me. And then I realize I just hit like 40 Persian dudes on the way to me. So now I just get hit in the face with Persian rugs and Axe body spray. And now I'm crying in the club. You can't be crying in the club. It's really, I hate the club. No one told me that you can't be tall in the club either. It's ridiculous. Dude, everyone in the club's jumping. I get to jump, and I'm jumping over people. Looks like I'm starting a game of leapfrog in the club. It's ridiculous. And everyone's like eye level to each other. Everyone's like 5'6", 5'5", just like eye level. The only person I can make eye contact with in the club is the DJ, and he's 60 feet away. And then like, I always have these 3 girls follow me around the club, right? And I go talk to them. I'm like, hey, what's going on? And they're like, do not talk to us. When we got in here, we decided you were going to be our meeting place in case we got lost. These girls are treating me like the goddamn CN Tower. And I don't know if that's a compliment. It's ridiculous, man. No one told me I also can't be tall and like dance good, you know? Because like everything you do when you're tall is just like, it just looks like so awkward. Like, I know the song's telling me how to Dougie, but me and Jimani are not doing the same thing. But that's where the short kings come in, you know? Because everything they do is like tight and concise. It's fast movements and shit, you know? But they have those songs that'll tell you what to do, you know? Like YMCA comes on, got that shit on lock. Cha-Cha Slide comes on, he's like, yeah, get low. Yeah, everybody, get low, right down to the flow. I'm like, bitch, the flow's 6 feet away. And it's pronounced floor. Like, I don't know why they do that. That's a whole nother thing. I know I seem uneducated. I know I seem that way. I am, but I know I just seem that way. No, it's weird. Like, I don't think I know anything, which is like, so I went to school for like the whole time, you know? But like earlier this year, my coworker was like, hey, Chris, are you filing your own taxes? And I'm like, that's not an automatic thing. Why don't I know what taxes are? You know, where was the taxes class in high school? Why was it more important for me to know what a 12-sided shape is called, dodecahedron? But I don't know what taxes are yet. That's ridiculous, man. I don't like that one bit at all. Like, no one even told me how important it is to like pick a university degree properly. Like, I studied geology for 4 years of my life. There's no rocks in Toronto. Unless you count the crack. Like, I'm gonna have to go up north or back in time to get a job with this degree. Like, it's crazy, man. 4 years and $20,000, all right? 4 years of going up to professors like, oh, well, this rock's gray. And this rock's also gray. And this rock's gray, but with a little hint of blue. And the professor pops out from behind the desk. I didn't notice the little hint of blue. And he goes back under his desk and smokes more rocks. 4 years and $20,000 of that, and then I couldn't get a job. So I'm like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go get a master's degree. Anyone want to know what I got a master's degree in? That would have been a good move. That would no. I wasted another year and $15,000 doing environmental science because I was like, after I'm done with these rocks, let's see what these goddamn trees are saying, bro. I wasted 5 years and $35,000 of my life doing this shit. That's so much. You know what I could have done with that kind of money? Like, for a start, like, I could have taken a girl out on like a really nice date, you know, like the ones you see in the movies with like the boat ride around the city and stuff. Yeah, yeah. Oh, you guys believe that? I was lying. You know, like a bad person. Oh my God, no, I wouldn't do that at all. Everyone tells me all the time, they're like, Chris, don't lie. Lying's bad. Lying will ruin your life. Let me tell you guys about how telling the truth ruined my last relationship. So I'm in the car with my girlfriend at the time, and she's driving. So obviously I'm on edge. And she looks over at me, so now we're like making eye contact. Like, you know how eyes work, right? She goes, babe, can I ask you a question? Let's just stop right there, all right? Because we're driving north. There's no street lights in sight, you know? Just because you can't see anything in front of you right now doesn't mean there won't be. Like, we just passed a yellow sign with the silhouette of a man on a moose getting into a car. I don't know what that sign means. I don't want to find out tonight and get robbed at Moose Point. So anyways, her eyes are back on the road. She's like, babe, would you still love me if I was a worm? God damn it. God damn. Shit. Fuck. I thought she was going to ask me a normal type of question like, hey, what exit are we going to get off at? Or, hey, should we stop for gas soon? Or, hey, whatever happened to Sloth from Goonies? Because we never really saw him die. You know, like normal type questions. But she hits me with that, you know? But guys, we know how to answer these types of questions, you know? It's like, it's built in. We're trained for this shit, you know? You're supposed to answer, babe, what are you talking about? Of course I love you. You're the only one for me. Like, I had that locked and loaded, you know? But problem is, I felt comfortable in my relationship, so I decided to tell the truth, which is something you should never do. Because I said, babe, of course not. Because if I can't talk to you or have sex with you, why would I date you? And she said, so babe, if I was in a coma, you wouldn't love me anymore? And I said, well, babe, if you were in a coma, I can still have sex with you. He liked that way too much. Keep an eye on him. I'm actually glad you guys like that, because she didn't. Yeah, she actually kicked me out of the car and just left me on the side of the road. So I found a moose and we robbed that bitch. And now I know what that goddamn sign means. All right, guys, thank you so much. You guys have been great. I don't know who the fuck to give this mic to. Okay.
Can we have a huge round of applause for Chris again? Okay. Damn, Chris. Damn. Okay. Getting back to the event, and we're watching you. Yes. The next and the final act of the evening is my wonderful colleague, Kirill, a core team member, welcoming him back on stage to present the gaming on Sui blockchain that we're all here to discover. So please give a huge round of applause and get that energy back in the room. And welcome, Kirill.
Hello, everyone. I want to mention that I am not part of the Sui team, but I'm actually part of the Toronto DAO team. But I'm more than happy to present gaming on Sui today for you. So let's start. So the first thing, let's talk more about why the Web3 gaming is actually important for Sui. As you can see, gaming dominates entertainment. In 2024, 3.3 billion gamers spent almost $200 billion on gamers spent almost $200 billion on video games in 2024. Also, gaming can bring 1 billion users into Sui ecosystem. And gaming is a key to Web3 breakthrough to increase consumer adoption. And but the only thing, the Web3 usage is still a niche, and Web2 gaming exceeds Web3 gaming by a huge margin. And now let's talk why Web3 is important for gaming. As you can see, there's a lot of games already. As you can see, there's already a lot of games available on Web3 platforms, and also gaming plus Web3 are starting to thrive. And we have to understand that blockchain games are fun first, and also blockchain hooks are making it more user-friendly, and people like this idea, and that's why they stick more to the blockchain hooks. And also, you're going to ask about what is the mega hit of Web3 gaming. So the mega hit of Web3 gaming is actually a combination of great games, abstraction, and performant blockchain, and Sui has it all. So it's really great for the Web3 gaming. And the key to mass adoption is actually not the tech, it's the fun. And now let's talk more about the actual Sui blockchain. So Sui is a next generation blockchain that is going to drive the gaming evolution from Web 2 to Web 3. Also, Sui provides best-in-class performance with 300,000 transactions per second. Also, there's been 0 attacks on Sui blockchain so far. The uptime of the network is currently 99.99%, and the average time to finality is 400 milliseconds. Also, Sui provides a lot of different functionality. So it supports zero-knowledge login, dynamic NFTs, kiosks, programmable transaction blocks, and sponsored transactions. Here you can see the list of the applications and protocols that we already built on the Sui. As you can see, Anarchy, Walrus, Stashed, Parasol, all of them were built using the Sui blockchain. And now let's watch some videos about the Sui Play gaming device. So this is the actual Sui Play device that is going to be released this year. And it's available for pre-order now. And here you can see the technical specification of the console. It has like 7-inch Full HD display. It has 520 gigabytes of memory, and it also works on Polytron Network OS. And make sure that you pre-order it soon, because it will sell out soon. And get your device today. And thank you for the attention. I'm not sure about this, but I just know that use Polytron Gaming OS, but for the hardware building, I'm not sure like who their partner is.
Hi everyone, I am back. And sorry, I'm holding a glass because I was fasting, so I had to break my fast. But yes. So that is about it for our wonderful evening. Thank you so much for being here and for being a wonderful audience. I'd like to extend my thanks to every single member of the Toronto DAO team and the Toronto DAO community for showing up today with all of your heart and your energy. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great evening networking, and now you're open and free to like pour your hearts out in networking.